Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, Thursday, February 23rd, 2017, more definitive proof of how professional sports are scripted and rigged by the numbers. We're going to look at the TNT doubleheader. There were two games on TNT last night, as there typically are on Thursday. The Knicks were at the Cavs, the Clippers were at the Warriors. The first game was Knicks at the Cavs. The final score was 104 to 119, a sum of 223 points on the date 2/23, and adding insult to injury, the over-under for the game before it even began was 223. If you're new to my channel, I put out 5 videos yesterday talking about the significance of 223 and the date of February 23rd. Also, throughout sports history and the time I've been here decoding, I've mentioned again and again how significant this number is. I showed how last year Flip Saunders, the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, died just before the start of the season. I showed how Flip Saunders was from Cleveland. I showed how their opening game last year, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who Flip Saunders coached, their opening game was against the Los Angeles Lakers. For people who don't know their basketball history, the Lakers, the reason they're called the Lakers is because they're from the land of 1,000 lakes, Minnesota. And I said last year, before that first game of the season was played, I said look for the score to be 223 points. Lakers versus Minnesota. The final score of the game was 223 points. 223, a tribute to Flip Saunders, who had just died days earlier, born on February 23rd from Cleveland. And I also said his death was a sign that the Cavs would win the championship last year, as they did. Star players number 2, number 23, and number 0. 2, 2, 3, 0. You got another 2, 2, 3 in the star players of the Cavs, Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love, who's supposedly now injured on Valentine's Day, right? Love on Valentine's Day. It's all part of the WWE narrative that is the NBA, that is professional sports, which are all rigged and scripted. There's not a single professional sports league in the U.S. that is not scripted. They are all run by the Freemasons. They are all run by the numbers. And if you doubt that, pay attention for just a few more seconds, because I'm going to show you the definitive proof. First, understand that the word Masonic is 223. So is the Synagogue of Satan, which is the name for the false Jews, which is exactly who runs your NBA. You have that space alien Adam Silver. You have that little stumpy midget, David Stern. Why are Jewish people running the NBA? Why are Jewish people running professional sports when there's hardly any Jewish athletes? It's because Jewish people run this world. They run the money, they run the industry, they run your government, and professional sports are a distraction for the manpower, to keep the manpower's minds and eyes off of what matters and keep them fixated in these rigged sports, which are part of the duping, because most men don't know these leagues are rigged. So here's Flip Saunders, who died by the numbers, died just before the start of the season in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's interesting that this season the Cavs earned their 38th win against Minnesota. Minnesota happens to equal 38 like death, like Prince. We saw Prince die there. His death was synced up with the NBA Finals last year, which I showed the day of his death. I also called his death in February of last year. Said why we'd be reading about his death soon. You might recall Game 1 of the NBA Finals last year. They put out the cause of death for Prince, fentanyl, which was a clue for the upcoming NFL season. You might recall after Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Muhammad Ali died. I said why Muhammad Ali would die at age 74 in 2014. Muhammad Ali, he became boxing champion in 64, the same sports season where Cleveland had last won a sports championship. Muhammad Ali dies after Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Here's TNT's advertising campaign for the Cavs last year. Of course, TNT shows a lot of Cavs games, so they had their own commercial for the Cavs. 2, 2-3-0. Last night, LeBron James came into the game with 47 career triple-doubles. He earned his 48th last night. And before the doubleheader was played last night, I pointed out that the Warriors would be earning their 48th win on 2-2-3. There's a relationship between 48 and 2-2-3. 223 is the 48th prime. So last night on February 23rd, in a game that summed 223 points with an over-under of 223, LeBron James got his 48th career triple-double. The Warriors also picked up their 48th win. Now look at the significance of 48 in regards to New York and Cleveland and LeBron James. New York has Gematria 48. Cleveland has Gematria 48. The name James has the Gematria 48. The name Donald Trump has the Gematria 48. That matters because Donald Trump had his GOP convention in Cleveland where the Cavs play. And remember, Donald Trump and the Cleveland Cavaliers were both at the White House on November 10th, 2016. The Cavs were being congratulated for winning the finals. Donald Trump was being congratulated for winning the rigged selection. That was a Thursday as well. Thursday night football was the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens, just down the street from the White House. The Ravens originally were the Cleveland Browns. The word wall also has Gematria 48. LeBron James has the new TV show The Wall. Donald Trump ran on building a wall. Donald Trump was announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall equals 45 the small way. That new movie just came out last Friday, The Great Wall, on the 48th day of the year. It's because the Zionist Jews run your government, they run your media, they run your sports leagues, they control Hollywood, they do it all by the numbers. This is Kabbalah. This is Zionism. It's not hard to see. It's not hard to see. And for all of you who can't see, I want you to know something about yourself and the Jewish people. The Jewish people, they call you the Goy. That means you're not Jewish. And what a Goy is someone who's lesser. See, Goys are believed by the Jewish people to be dumb, idiotic, gullible, easily fooled, easily confused, easily led astray, easily manipulated. And their belief is the purpose of the Goy is to be manipulated by those who are Jewish so that Jewish people don't have to work. You see, the Jewish people think it's their God-given right to just exist and live off the labor and work of the Goy. See, most Goy, all they do is work and slave and have no money for themselves, give it all away to their cable company for rigged sports and bullshit TV programming. This is what's going on in the world. This is why the Jewish people run the things that they run. This is why they control the sports leagues and make families pay their whole month's paycheck to go watch the game. This is how it goes. For all of you who don't get it. You know, picture Adam Silver and David Stern. Two Jewish cocksuckers. Picture the news headlines earlier this week about how they need to stop anti-Semitism. Understand something. The Jewish people aren't Semitic. They are the false Jews. Jews in the Bible are dark-skinned. They're black. The Jews of this world are white because they're the false Jews. They're Jewish. They're not really Jews. So anytime anyone says anti-Semitic, tell that person to shut the fuck up and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because that's a fact. Also, last night's triple-double, to get back on topic, last night's triple-double, it was the first for LeBron since January 25th. His last one was against the Kings. King James got his last triple-double against the Kings, and this is giving me deja vu. Go back and watch my videos from last season. I was talking about the significance of LeBron James's triple-doubles against the New York Knicks and Sacramento Kings, and how they synced up perfectly with the NBA Finals. From last night's game, defeating the Knicks, to the start of the NBA Finals, which is June 1st, 6-1, finals equals 61. You might recall that last year in Game 7, the Warriors and the Cavs met in Game 7. Both teams had scored 610 points, 6-1-0, finals 61. Game 7 was on a date with 61 numerology, the real King James's birthday. Anyway, from last night's game to the start of the NBA Finals this year on 6-1 is 98 days. Chosen one equals 98, like what's tattooed on LeBron's shoulder. So 98 days from the game by the numbers against the Knicks to the start of the NBA Finals. I was looking at the all-time triple-double leader, Oscar Robertson. He has 181. 181 is the 42nd prime number, 42, number stamped on black people throughout history. Yesterday's date had 42 numerology. LeBron James happens to equal 42. Just like Freemason, just like NYC. Last year, LeBron's final triple-double of the regular season was against the Knicks, and it was the 42nd of his career. Last night, he got the 48th of his career, and it couldn't have been any more perfect by the numbers, you see? I also noticed that his 2 games against the Kings this year, they both ended in a sum of 228 points. That's a number for United States of America. There's some larger riddle going on here. So I'll continue to document and think about it. Might have to do with King Trump, the selected president, who's having a lot of parallels with Cleveland. I also just want to point out that triple-double in gematria sums to the same thing as Freemasonry. It's a nation founded by Freemasons. Basketball, a sport created by Freemasons. Freemasonry running the show. United States, America, both share this gematria that syncs up with Freemasonry. The Kings also played last night, and I noticed the sum of their score was 216 points, 216, like the Cleveland area code. I think it's all part of the tribute. All part of the riddle. 98 days before the NBA Finals, where I'm sure the Cavs will be there again. It's the Cavs' 47th season. Ohio equals 47. The first NBA championship, it was the BBA then, was won by the Philadelphia Warriors in 47 against Steph Curry and LeBron James, born at the same hospital in Akron, Ohio. In the offseason, Nate Thurmond, born in Akron, Ohio, died. Nate Thurmond has his number 42, number stamped all over black people. Number 42 he has, retired with the Warriors and the Cavs, Nate Thurmond. He died 27 days after LeBron scored 27 points in Game 7. Nate Thurmond, very likely the biological father of LeBron James. Look at those two men. Same build, same athleticism, same hairline. Pretty sure Nate Thurmond is the father of LeBron. If you've never seen my video on the death of Jordan's father had the most numerical death out of all the deaths I've ever decoded. Undeniable that man died by the numbers on a specific date. He died after Michael Jordan won his 3rd championship. You know what? Nate Thurmond died after LeBron won his 3rd championship. And again, I'm pretty sure Nate Thurmond is the father of LeBron. Michael Jordan's father is a whole nother story. A short man. It's hard to believe that Michael Jordan's father was Michael Jordan's father. At halftime last night, the score was 51-69. 51, a number that represents LeBron and Cleveland as well. I noticed in the first quarter, 33 points scored. Cleveland is the only city in the professional sports world that has gematria of 33. Now that we're aware of reverse gematria, New York happens to be the only city in the professional sports world that has 33 gematria in reverse. And LeBron is always getting major tributes with Cleveland. LeBron equals 33 in reverse, so does James. But anyway, pay attention to the Cavs. Anytime they're in prime time, I mean, it's almost every single time. It seems that the odds must be at least 75%. First quarter scoring, almost every single time that the Cavs are involved in the game, one of the two teams scores 33 points. Last night, New York scored 33 in the first quarter. Happens again and again and again. I mean, just on my blog, you can go through all the times I've documented on my blog. There's hundreds of posts here. It's crazy. So the other game of the doubleheader on TNT was the Clippers at the Warriors. Here's what was interesting about yesterday's doubleheader. Yesterday, February 23rd, was the 54th day of the year. TNT in gematria equals 54. So does Oracle. ESPN also happens to sum to 54 like TNT. Last season, ESPN had a doubleheader. The first was the Cavs versus the Hawks. The Cavs won, getting their 54th win of the season. The next game was the Celtics at the Warriors in Oracle Arena. Heading into the game, the Warriors had a 54-game winning streak at home, an NBA record, and it got snapped. It got snapped the same night the Cavs picked up their 54th win. And what I pointed out, you can go back and watch the video, as I said, look, the Cavs beat the Hawks. The Warriors lost to the Celtics. Boston, Atlanta. Interesting how that became the Super Bowl this year. But what I pointed out last year was I said, look at NBA Finals or NBA championship history. I said the time where the Celtics had their dynasty run, where they went to every NBA championship in the decade, they only lost to one team, and they lost to the Hawks. You see, Hawks, Celtics. The Cavs had beat the Hawks, getting win number 54. The Warriors had lost to the Celtics. I said that was proof that the Cavs were going to beat the Warriors in the NBA Finals, something that I predicted before last season even began based on the way everything lined up. Had a lot to do with 51. At the start of last season, the Cavs had not won a pro championship for 51 years. Or not the Cavs, but the city of Cleveland hadn't won a pro championship for 51 years. LeBron James has gematria 51. So does Cleveland. So does Conspiracy. Lo and behold, Cavs went on to win. So anyway, Warriors last night, they had 49 points in the first half. Warriors equals 49. So does Revelation. Philadelphia gets its name from Revelation. The Warriors from Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Warriors won the first championship in 47. The Warriors scored 49 points in the first half and 50 points in the third quarter. Steph Curry scored the 54th point of the game with a long three-pointer, and I just knew that was going to be the beginning of the streak that won the game for the Warriors. Even though they were down in the first half, I had no doubt they would win the game because they were looking at win number 48. And again, it was 2-2-3. 2-2-3 is the 48th prime. The Warriors picked up their 48th win of the season, becoming 48-9. So anyway, the NBA is scripted. It's scripted to the point. For all the people who watch my videos and leave comments that this is just so dumb, just realize that all you're showing is that it's you who's dumb. You know, you don't have logic, you don't have reason, you probably can't add 1 + 1 = 2. Plus, you just can't see the obvious. You know, pro sports have never looked real. Ever. To anyone. All of you who watch pro sports and dupe yourselves into thinking they're real, I don't know what's wrong with you. I know a lot of you play sports. Any of us who play sports should know that pro sports aren't real. You know, any of us who play sports know what it looks like to compete. You know, those of us who spend a lot of time playing basketball, king of the court, you know, courts where the winning team stays. When you play basketball against people, you have to play hard. You know, you sweat, you work hard. Watch the way these NBA players play. Nobody plays any defense. You find better defense on a concrete court in the middle of a city any day of the week. I could go out on an NBA court undersized. I'm 5'10". I could play better defense than the majority of these people play in the NBA. There's no defense in this league because it's entertainment. It's theatrics. It's just nothing about pro sports looks real. $1 million receivers who can't catch the wide open third down pass. Just the stupidest decisions week after week. I grew up in Portland, Oregon. You know, when I was growing up as a child, the Portland Trail Blazers were the most consistent consistently good sports team in the professional sports world. They went to the playoffs every year. They had a winning record every year. They'd often lose in championships. They were that good team that could never win. And you could just see it. I mean, I was 7 years old then watching those games, and I just remember the way the refs blow the whistle, whistle for the other team. Blazer goes in for a lay and gets like hammered, crushed at the hoop, no foul call. Michael Jordan gets breathed on, another foul call. It's just so biased. It's just so pathetic, and everyone sees it, but they just go along with it. It's just a joke. That's what America is. People going on with an obvious joke, an obvious lie, an obvious deception, and saying nothing about it. I still remember when the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals lost in Game 7 to the Lakers. We should go look up that box score. The Blazers were up like 20-some points going into the fourth quarter. It's pretty hard to lose a basketball game when you're up that much. I mean, control the clock, use the shot clock, make smart buckets. I mean, they had as big of a lead as a team typically scores in a quarter. And they lost. It's just... And that kind of stuff happens all the time. It's like what just happened in the Super Bowl, the Patriots being down 28-3 and coming back to win. Lo and behold, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, I'd said the Super Bowl was all about 25 and why the Patriots would win. Then they come back from 28 points. You got your halftime performer, Lady Gaga, with the 28/3 birthday, March 28th. You had season 28, episode 3 of The Simpsons, which was about the Tom Brady and the Patriots. It came out the same day Brady came back from his Deflategate suspension. Season 28, episode 3, 119 days before the Super Bowl. Did you guys catch the score last night of the Warriors? Or not the Warriors, but the Cavs-Knicks game? 119. It's the same numbers again and again. The number of the all-seeing eye. The number of the gang that rules over us. The Freemasons, the Zionist Jews. They got their all-seeing eye on the masses because they know where the masses' eyes are. You know what I mean? See how it works? They're controlling the mind's eye of the masses with rigged sports, rigged elections, contrived news. Same gang runs the whole show. Murdering people, scripting the games. And calling people the goy, thinking they're too dumb to see it. And, they're right. I've been here for 3 years showing people how it's all done by the numbers, time after time, and half of the people who come here say this is the stupidest thing they ever saw. Think about how fucking retarded those people are. People get mad at me because I say society's a bunch of morons, and they go, oh no, Zach, people aren't morons. Man, shut the fuck up, people aren't morons. You're a fucking moron if you don't think this society's full of fucking rejects, retards, and not much else, because that's the truth. You're one of them if you don't know that. This is what the rejects do with their life. Watch rigged sports. Don't care about the truth. Shout down the truth. Wear the names of men on their backs who don't give a fuck about them, who exploit them. You want to come to my blog and search triple-double? I have 1 million posts on LeBron James triple-doubles over the years, how they're all by the numbers, plus a whole lot of other things, Truth Seeker. A lot of posts here. Lots of information on the blog. Over 15,000 blog posts, like an online encyclopedia, free on all topics. It's just so sad how fucking dumb people are. Isn't it, Truth Seeker? I mean, just think about all of us who are trying to spread this knowledge, and people are just going, what? That would never happen. How could they do that? How could they script a game? It's just like, God, where is the nuclear football? I want to be able to press the button, Can I press the button already and clear out this nation of fucking retards? Fucking retards. Same fucking retards who cannot see through September 11th and all the other bullshit. Donald Trump, it's just a fucking joke. Look at that score. I feel like this score is a tribute to the fact that the retards can't see through 9/11. The new One World Trade Center is 104 stories tall. just like the numerology of the date of establishment of this Masonic Jewish nation. 10-4, message received, over and out.